Hello YouTube, this is Chris with TaskForce 247 Airsoft, sponsored by Fox Airsoft, located in Parker, Colorado. Today I'm coming back to you with a great review of another product. I alluded to this in the video I dropped yesterday. I was just outside running some drills with it and my new AK, trying to get a feel for the ergonomics of everything. So I thought I'd come in and just do the review while I'm taking my break. This is the RPG-7B by Matrix. I believe the original brand, before it was rebranded by Evike, is the Craft Apple RPG-7. I don't agree with Evike a lot. I'd never order their products. I got this through a trade. These are harder to find now. I have not been able to locate any other than this one, or I haven't seen any in Colorado other than this one. And this is the cheapest one you can get in Colorado that functions. There's obviously the ones on eHobby Asia. I don't remember what the brands are, but they actually have this front part of the nose cone come off, and then there's a pin that runs all the way through, and the 40mm sits in here, so you just see half of a warhead, which I would like a lot better. But this one does give some more diversity with what you can do with it. So let's start off let's start from the rocket down. So rocket pops off. It does not have a full-length rocket tube like the RPG-7 would. The rocket comes in two parts. You could store some batteries in here, keep a couple snacks in here, who knows. I mean, I'll figure out something. I'll probably stash some Cliff Bars in here or something. That snaps on nice and tight. The only part that isn't tight is down here. From these vents back is a little cone that pops out. That is what secures into the RPG. This does come off, and thanks to John and some crazy super glue, this thing is not moving anymore. This thing is in to stay. The problem that I had when this was on my back is I'd walk through a doorway, I'd nick the tip, and it would just pop off, and then this would get stuck in the tube. Not anymore. You just got to be careful. When you receive your RPG, if you even can anymore, like I said, don't quote me on that, this will come as a challenge kit. The box you get for this does not look RPG size. The box for this looks like it's holding an MP5. It will be, from here forward, will be one piece. This entire metal part will be one piece. This will be separate, and the trigger mechanism will be separate. The exhaust cone will be separate, and the wood with the screws to keep them on will be separate, and you have to put it all together. Literally, all it is turning two screws with a screwdriver and screwing two big pieces together. This entire thing is made of CNC'd aluminum. It's very thick, and it's a very sturdy thing. I'm not worried about this breaking anytime soon. It has malfunctioned on me, and the way I fixed it was literally I pulled the trigger assembly off and smacked it with a hammer, and everything lined back up. This thing has one moving part, and that's the trigger. You can't really fuck this one up. So, moving on, we got the sights. The front sight flips up. It's got the regular RPG front post, which isn't too great on this because the spring in it makes it flip back. You can't have it sit perfectly straight without wobble. I'm trying to see if there's a way for me to fix that. The rear sight, however, is perfect. Stands straight up on end, has the nice adjustment on it to go up and down. It's got a very nice little viewing window. And the rear sight is a lot better than the front sight. The wood on this is a synthetic plastic. I'm not really sure what it's made of. It feels like a type of vinyl in a way. It's kind of squeaky. So I don't know what this is. It is just a sleeve that slides on over this back metal tube, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it means if this breaks or shatters or gets damaged, it'll be easy to replace because you can just get a vinyl fake wood wrap and then just wrap that around it. It'll look exactly the same. So the bones of this thing are really good. It isn't the highest quality, like I said. It's only $180 brand new. I will not post the link to it because you can't get it anymore. It's been discontinued for reasons of obvious intent, considering that 40mm grenades don't fit it. You can only get Matrix grenades, which are 39mm. Thank you again, Evike, you lovely bastards. I had to file down all of my shells. which is not fun. So, going through one more time with this, we have the sling mounts. As you can notice, I have 2 slings on here. The reason being that when the rocket is in and it's slung over your back, it is nearly impossible to go through a doorway without smacking the rocket. And it will break it off, and it'll break the glue seal that I had to put in to keep this together. So what I had to do was I took 2 AK slings so I can backpack it. And it makes it go straight up and down my back, and it's only a few inches above my head. So it will never get snagged off in a door unless I'm jumping through a door. It stays really nice and tight on your back. There's not a lot of, room for error with it. And it's low profile, there's nothing to snag, it's all linear with your body, so nothing's going to get thrown out of whack with this, which is something I really like. Only problem with slinging it straight down is you need to accommodate room on your kit to fit the bottom of this, which is a couple inches, just to have a nice slot on your belt so that the RPG will sit straight. So let's move on to the shell test, and I'll show you how this thing fires. Alright, so here I have my newer Lancer tactical shell. These things are really nice. They're, I think, 60 round, and they're very small. I like these a lot. Even though these are extremely cheap, they're about $30, these pack a bigger punch than any shell I've ever had. These even outdo Mad Bull. The PSI on these is outrageous. One of the techs up at Fox, John Duginski, he was telling me about a little test they did where they put a 40mm super ball that weighs, big bouncy ball, weighs, quarter of a pound, launched it 150 feet. So, let's get down into this. You'll also be able to hear how unbelievably loud this shell is. So what you do, just pop off your rocket, slap it in a dump or utility bag, whatever. You're going to take your 40mm. By the way, you're going to have to shave down the edge of your grenades. You're going to have to because, thank you, Evike, you wonderful bastards. Slide it down the tube. Going to pop it up. The way I like to do it is I take my shooting hand on the grip and my other hand on the trigger. I don't know why, it just feels better pushing the RPG in this way. Is the safety on? Yes, it is. And then it's fired. As you can see, that was a really, really good shell. And I'm really impressed by these shells. I might do a review of these separately later, do some shooting tests, see how far we can launch different shit. So, to wrap this up, we'll get a closer view of the trigger mechanism so that we can see this in depth. Alright, so on here it's got the Russian trades. It says RPG-7B, followed by a serial number, which is N-0912. It has the company's logo, the arrow, and then it has 1976, which is the era of when this exact model of the 7B was created. The RPG-7V2 wasn't introduced until the early 90s, I believe. The 7V2 has this farther back, and instead of a hand guard, it's a shoulder rest. So this is pushing into your shoulder, and your trigger, so like this would be right here, and it would be a shoulder rest for kick. Because the V2 is extremely powerful compared to the 7B. To drop your shell, let's put this back in. This lever back here, let's let that focus. This lever right here goes up and down. See the trigger move with it. Sometimes the trigger mechanism is very sticky, so you're going to have to push both of these up at the same time. Pull the trigger, push the lever up for it to fire. But to drop the shell, you're going to take this lever, push it down, and the shell slides right out of the front like an AK-style grenade launcher. And that's about all there is to the RPG-7B by Kraft Apple. Kraft Apple does make some good Russian launchers. I had their GP25. I sold it recently, so I could actually buy more shells for this. And they make good, solid products for a budget airsofter. Hopefully I'll have some more review items for you guys later. Until then, this is Chris with TaskForce 247 Airsoft, signing out.